it looks like we can examine evidence in the court record. That's good to know. I remember how to do that. You use the examine button. Great. Great. So let's look through the court record, see if there's anything we can examine. Thank you very much, Professor Miko Toba. I'll do that right now. Let's see. I can examine this picture. I've already examined it. Perhaps they want me to examine this fountain pen. So let's see. Is there any evidence at all on this fountain pen? Ooh, we can take off the lid. Is there anything interesting? I can't really tell. It doesn't look like I can't see anything interesting about the lid of the pen. What about this thing? We're just gonna take this pen apart. Wow. Okay, so what's inside this barrel? It's completely devoid of ink. That's weird. Is it possible it was on the verge of running out? It's got a very small amount of liquid on the inside, and you'll notice our evidence is slightly different now. How strange. Let's see. We might as well examine the RM. Yes, the victim was clinging to this in her dying moments. It doesn't look like... Ooh, what's this on the side? Belongs to some organization. That would imply the pen doesn't belong to Ray, and let's add this up. Let's add this to our evidence. The fact that it's not her pen. But which statement would I, present this information? The fact that it's not her pen. It's got an emblem. She did have a motive. I guess we could try presenting it at this final statement.
Objection!
But no, that's not good. Look, the people are making fun of Susato for not knowing what's happening. And she's gonna get a penalty! That thing in the upper right-hand corner, it went away! Oh no! Now we've only got 4 mistakes left. It's not the 5th statement, so we could try the 4th statement.
Objection!
Once again, they're saying no. It's not correct. It would make no sense for me to present the pen at this statement.
Objection!
Yep, okay. So then I have no idea what this puzzle is, because the game clearly told me, hey, I need to examine this pen, but then nothing happened as a result. This conversation has not changed, which is why I am able to fast forward through it. Let's take a look, see if there's anything else. No, nothing interesting there. It doesn't look like my magnifying glass is very useful. It's not like it's letting me zoom in on evidence here. It's like I can't zoom in on this pen. I do get to see it a little closer. That's good. Oh, here we go. Here's something new. I can also spin this around. This newspaper. Interesting, but is there something on the back side of the newspaper, perhaps? Deadly poison stolen? What? Stolen from your lab on the day of the murder? A highly toxic poison. Ray was in charge of the project. How did the details get leaked to the newspapers? Interesting. So perhaps this new information is a motive. You know, he's saying there's no good reason for trying to get the knife out of the victim. Well, here's a good reason. We've got an article about poison. So let's read it. Following the lecture, a very disturbing incident took place. Deadly poison stolen. Even the smallest amount entered through a poison-laced blade or the mouth could prove fatal. Poison-laced blade, huh? Onset of symptoms occurs within minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of pupils prior to death. Okay, so contraction of pupils. Does that at all match with the constriction? Is constriction and... Yeah, is that the same thing? Constriction and contraction? Maybe.
Objection!
Anyway, we are going to present this newspaper article here as evidence.
Objection!
Oh, come on, come on. This mentions poison on a knife. So come on, this could be relevant. Oh, jeez. Okay, so it was page number 2 that talked about the knife, right? I'm gonna have to reread this. Okay, page 2. Deadly in tiny quantities. The article. When the toxic enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, rapidly absorbed and causes death within minutes. So if it was actually poison on the knife that was the murder weapon, that is why Ray would have removed that knife. As I said, all along, she's trying to save the victim's life.
Objection!
Yeah, poison does not appear anywhere in the post-mortem report. And clearly, you know, we managed to get the poison taken out of the body, yeah? So, she must have had a strong reason for believing there was poison on the knife. Yes, that is a good point. Why would Ray assume there's poison on the knife? You want your grounds? I'll give you grounds! Well, the victim was knowledgeable about poisons. The victim has killed somebody with poison. 9 months ago, that's what happened. That evidence just demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the article. You know, it could be the pen, because the pen has liquid in it, but I think I'm gonna go with the pupils, the pupil stuff.
Take that!
So the victim had extreme pupil constriction. So hey, why don't you explain this to me, huh? It means it's really weird for her eyeballs to be looking that way, right? And now let's go to the newspaper article. Onset of symptoms ends with acute contraction of pupils prior to death. So, if the defendant saw her pupils, she could have correctly assumed that the poison was involved. So, what do you think? Is it compelling evidence? Yes, it is. Yes, Your Excellency. So can you confirm or deny it, Professor? What? What do you mean you don't know? You don't know about the top secret poison in your own lab? Okay, he did not know about the theft. He'd have to check the laboratory to be sure. Yeah, this looks really bad on you, Professor. Hey, you know, in his defense, there was a murder yesterday that probably took up most of his time. And Ray, what are you doing here? What is Soseki doing? I mean, what is he doing on the right-hand side? I just don't understand. So is Ray gonna testify about this theft? Ah, she noticed the theft. So she was already on alert looking for this poison. Oh yes, that's right. The professor was doing a big newspaper interview as well. That's another reason why he would have been distracted. So a tiny amount of the poison had disappeared. I can only presume that the poison was hidden inside the pen. That's my guess. We did have that really tiny area inside the pen. Perfect for hiding poisons. So that's why Ray decided to go to the beach. She confronted Miss Brett. She thought Miss Brett was a thief. But she just smiled and pretended nothing was wrong. I know you stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, she suddenly got to her feet before falling to her knees in front of me and collapsing on the floor. So she was stabbed mid-conversation? That's why I saw the knife in her back. I didn't understand what just happened. And then a moment later, I seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes had shrunk to tiny pinpoints. Sorry. Yeah, so she was murdered in the middle of being confronted. That's pretty dramatic. I didn't see anything go into her lips. So that means the poison must have entered through the stab wound. Yes, Ray, you should be sorry for staying silent all this time. You could have said this like a half hour ago, cleared up the entire situation, saved us a lot of time. So she did try to hide the fact that that poison was stolen under her watch. But it is very good that she's finally confessed the truth and talked about her noble attempt to save the victim's life.
Objection!
So how was she stabbed? There was nobody else inside the room, unless somebody, like, put the knife through the wall.
Objection!
Oh man, we've got new conclusive evidence to talk about. Ooh, but he hesitated a moment. Ooh, so it might not be the best evidence ever. You have some praise for me? Well, I imagine there is no need for me to submit this evidence. But hey, you've done so well. You've extended the trial to the point where I need to bring out this evidence, which I was keeping hidden in my pocket for some reason. I really should have presented this at the start. Anyway, it's a picture of the blade being removed from her. How did somebody get a picture of this? If there is room, if there's a big hole in the wall where somebody could put a camera lens, then clearly there's a big enough hole for somebody to stab a knife through the wall. Man, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this is just proof. Oh, we don't have the actual picture in the court record yet. Sorry. Yeah, I'm saying that's just proof. Somebody could have stuck their hand in through the wall and stabbed her. Hey, buddy, stop acting like Susato, okay? Susato, remember, you're in disguise. You need to be tough and manly. So the court will accept this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence. Okay, so now the print has been added to the court record. Yeah, and it's kind of unbelievable that he had this photograph in his pocket the whole time. That's kind of crazy. Okay. So, is that the knife? I don't think the knife has been added to evidence. Is that the knife or is that the pen? Like, could it have been the pen? Well, I mean, let's take this part off of the pen. Like, it could have been a pen, conceivably. I'm not entirely sure.